This video, contrary to the last one, fills me with existential dread. This is not my least favorite video of the year, but it is one of the hardest. I was gonna say it's the hardest, but I did start doing color theory curriculum videos about a year and a half ago, and like, I have to say those are way more brain melting than this. I hope y'all like this, because this is my year-end best of the best, and the reason that I'm filled with existential dread is because I'm always afraid that I'm going to miss something. I have several ways of scouring everything that I've bought and reviewed over the course of the year, but none of them is particularly exhaustive or incredibly reliable. And so I stressed so much about this video because I know that someone's gonna leave a comment and be like, well, what about this one? I'm gonna go, oh my God, yeah, what about that one? For my worst of the year, I had bags full of things because it was easier for me to go, wow, I hate this, and chuck it into something. But when I love something, it just stays in circulation. And so I started trying to dig all of these things out so that I could show them to you. And I realized they are like strewn about my life. I'm really ADHD, in case you can't tell. I'm also an Aries. I rely on luck for so many things. Like, I remember how much I love my Serum lip balm because it's in a pocket of something that I wear a lot, but that doesn't really mean I can go and like find it on demand. So I hope you'll excuse the very like loosey-goosey nature of this video. It's not going to be particularly professional, but I hope that the information is still helpful and salient for you. So here we go, y'all. End of 2025. These are the best makeup products of my year. Let's do it. In case anyone doubted me, this shirt is cropped. I just want everyone to know. It's important. So the first way that I went through this was to go through my Sephora purchases for the year. So this is actually in chronological order for part of this until I get past Sephora. And then it's just like your guess is as good as mine. But the first thing apparently that I reviewed and loved this year was actually the Serum The Adults Are Talking Lip Balm. This is truly an incredible formula. It goes fast. It's like 40 bucks. It's like not cost effective at all, and yet it is outrageously effective. I use it on me, I use it on my boyfriend, I use it on my child. Now, for those of you who are like Kackie, if you say it's great, then I'm going to add to cart. Let me caution you against the tinted ones and the glitter ones, okay? We're only talking about the shade Clarity, the clear one, because it has that super unctuous moisturizing quality, and something about adding pigment and glitter to the next iteration of this release just took the magic out of it. So I hope that she remedies that at some point. I'm not a, chemist, so I don't really know if that's possible, but I will say that the clear one, off the charts, just off the charts. The next thing, apparently, that I loved was the ABH Blurring Serum Blush. I loved this not just because it is in the teeniest little container. I'm sorry, I've been watching way too much Blake Jennings, but it is in this teeny tiny skinny legend of a little applicator thing, and the colors were so excellent, mainly this one kind of like pinky lavender, that if you were subscribed to my Patreon, in fact, I think I did put the video out at some point publicly, I'm not sure. Either way, it is a video of me and Rebecca, my bestie, trying a bunch of stuff. And as an exercise in color theory, we decided to use it on her under eyes because it's like this pinky purple. She is a like yellow green undertone and has these very yellow under eyes sometimes when she's like underslept or whatever. And we put it on there and like, and I also have a sponge here for you if you want to use it.
I'll do a side by side here. Oh my God. Actually though, look at the difference.
Whoa!
That's nuts.
That's nuts! Color theory! The sallow under eyes were no longer in the building. We deleted them. It was pretty incredible to watch. Like, it was, we were both like, wait, what? I just love color theory in action, but that is also just a really beautiful formula, and it did ignite my love in the beginning of this year for serum blushes, which there ended up being more of throughout the year, and they're just lovely. I think that as serum blushes go, one is not necessarily better than the next. It just happens to be a formula that when applied properly, which I would say is, I always say this, with like a BK 112 or like anything kind of shaped like this, loose, but also synthetic. And like a duo fiber is really nice because you want to apply it in a way that like diffuses it without picking the makeup back up, and a serum blush tends to dry into the sponge and then kind of like stamp the makeup back off your face, which can be really frustrating and make you think like, oh my gosh, I got hoodwinked, this product is not good. But a serum blush, a serum bronzer, whatever, that's the way to do it, is with a synthetic brush that'll just kind of fluff it on. So I fell in love with serum blushes to begin with this year, and that's a really lovely one with some really great colors. The next one, and I need to like pull some of this stuff out, honestly, because going back through my purchases over the year, I think that the main thing that I really like forgot about were the eyeshadow palettes, because the NARS Tempting eyeshadow palette had a solid moment in my rotation this year, and it being all of these really beautiful mauves and pinks and brownie mauvey shimmer things, it worked beautifully for my olive undertoned friends who decided to buy it. It's like 9 shades of very, very useful, usable shades for people for whom things tend to go orange. So it turns a really beautiful kind of muted brown on olive undertones. I'm a huge fan of this palette. The next love in the parade of serum blushes this year, I didn't realize that these came out this early in the year. They came out with new colors very recently, but apparently the initial release of this was like back in like January or February. And these are the Glow Recipe liquid blushes, the serum blushes. Oh my goodness gracious. They are so lovely and pretty well priced as well. There are 4 shades in this. I like the first 2 a lot. The second 2 that they came out with are great and not for me. They scared the hell out of me when I put them on. The cherry one was okay, but the dragon fruit one was absolutely terrifying. And then I watched Rebecca put it on, and it was amazing on her because she has a yellow-green undertone, and it just turned a completely normal color on her. It didn't look like fluorescent neon highlighter like it did on me in a way that like I felt like I was instantly drowning. It was totally gorgeous on her, so I'm a believer. It just wasn't for me. I just want to caution everybody in that respect, just from a color theory standpoint. I feel like that's my responsibility. But what a gorgeous formula. Just A+. Keep expanding that shade range, Glow Recipe. Another huge winner, and I do have this one somewhere front and center here. Yeah, because I'm wearing it right now. The Merit Lip Liners. This was one that like no one, including me, wanted to be a believer on, because we were like, I can make a lip liner sheer. Why do I need a lip liner that I can't apply in a saturated way if I want to? Why do I want something that doesn't wear for that long? Why do I want something that's not opaque, you know? And the answer is because you do. I can't explain this stuff. It's like kind of glossy finish to it. If you let it sit for a minute before you blend it, it will have a little more wear time. This is the shade Archival from the Archival trio, which I think is probably completely out of stock at this point. But like, there's something about this formula where it almost doesn't matter what color you get. You know what I mean? Like, do not agonize if you're like, ooh, do I want Bespoke or Tabak? Like, just get one of them. It doesn't matter. They're all awesome, and they're like in these really nice, cool brownie tones that like when you blend them out, they pretty much all do something delightful. So they're really, really lovely. They are special. I like the way that they are sheer, especially for us medium contrast folks, but you can, like I said, get a little bit more out of them. I feel like they're more beginner friendly because lip liner can be, I don't know, just a little intimidating. The same way that contour can, you know, you're just kind of like, does it look really obvious, you know? And these are going to look less obvious. Again, the colors are dialed into perfection, and I don't know how they did it, but they made them glossy, and I kind of love that they're glossy in finish. They're excellent. I have 3 or 4 of them. I adore them. As much as I like to trash those Makeup Forever products, the lip gloss and the skin tint that they put out earlier this year, they did also put out the Artist Color crayons, which were multi-use little chubby sticks. And typical of Makeup Forever, they did put them out in colors that are Makeup Forever like classics. They did like Endless Cacao and Anywhere Caffeine and Wherever Walnut and stuff like that. It was such a gorgeous shade range, and the formula was so easy to work with, and it was in contours and bronzers and blushes and highlighters, but they didn't tell you that that's what they were. It was just kind of like, do whatever you want with these, and I'm a huge fan of that kind of thing, especially if they actually function in all of those ways. Like, oh, tell me that I can use it on my lips. If I actually can use it on my lips, A+, you know what I mean? It was just a really, really beautiful release. I got a lot of use out of those. The only drawback is that Makeup Forever needs to stop putting that terrible scent in everything. It's in everything. It doesn't linger with those, but like they really could have done without it. And like, I'm not anti-scent, I'm anti that scent. It's bad. One that I hilariously use the crap out of and hardly ever mention, I'm almost done with the bottle of it. I think I link it in all my videos, but I never really talk about it, is the Pat McGrath Setting Mist. The one that she came out with this year that's the Glass 001. It is a play on her Margiela runway look where they looked like porcelain dolls, you know, and they could like peel their faces off. That's not this product, but it's like if you sprayed enough on there, you could get something really sheeny like that. But it doesn't happen super fast, and I feel like it does give your skin, like I'm wearing it right now, it gives your skin a really manageable glow. Not quite as much as like a MAC Fix Plus, and it doesn't leave your face as wet as a Fix Plus, so I feel like it gives you the glow without making like all of your powders as translucent as something like the Fix Plus does. I think it has a lot to do with the applicator. The spray nozzle is like a spray sunscreen, and something about that makes it so that it goes on really evenly and not too much. And I really like it. I will probably repurchase it when I finish it. I told y'all when we were talking about the Victoria Beckham stains in my worst of the year, sorry VB, that there were some stains that did impress me this year, the marquee of which being the Violette Lip Nectars. Wow, wow, wow. So y'all know I love the Kulfi Lassie lips. Those came out a couple of years ago, and I absolutely sung their praises because I love the idea and the execution of a lip stain that actually stains the color of the product. A lot of them for the longest time would stain a pretty universal like cherry red underneath, and it's like it didn't really matter what the color was because it was gonna stain the same color no matter what. That one stains the color that it is, and the balm that is part of the formula that's like, you know, the top part of it is nourishing and lovely. And I'm like, these need to be included in the conversation for liquid lip balms, right? And the Violette ones are just another iteration of that same beautiful concept in colors that I arguably like even more. So if you liked that, but they didn't have a color that you particularly loved, check out the Violette ones. Obviously, this isn't something that has never existed before, but it is a little bit rare on the market. I love the packaging as well. I think that her packaging is always really pretty, and it's just a beautiful, like well-executed product. I liked it very much. And like Violette, I don't know, it's kind of worth mentioning when she makes something that blows my mind because most of her stuff is made for high contrast complexions, and so it's like hard for me to wear a lot of it because it just kind of happens so fast. And they also tend to lean a little bit more red than I'm comfortable with a lot of times, but these had options. These had nuance. They were lovely. The next one I have to say is not necessarily like a me favorite, but it is like a favorite for the people, and that is the Makeup by Mario liquid eyeshadows. In an avalanche, an ocean, if you will, of liquid eyeshadows over the last few years that inexplicably remove with plain water. Let me tell you, liquid eyeshadows, for the people that they're for, they're supposed to be long wearing. That's the point of a liquid eyeshadow, is that they're kind of a pain in the butt to put on, but the trade-off is that they wear for a long time without creasing, and that just hasn't been the case for the ones that are literally not just water-based, but like water-soluble once they dry down. I'm talking about Pat McGrath, I'm talking about Urban Decay, Linda Hallberg, Versed, like brands that we normally trust are putting out water-soluble liquid eyeshadows, and it just goes over my head. I don't get it. But Makeup by Mario, he said, no, no, no. I understand my customer. I understand that the people who want a liquid eyeshadow want it to, by God, stay there once it's there. And they're not just long wearing, they're actually easy to apply. They're up there with Hindash's Color Fluids. They're up there with the About Face liquid eyeshadows in terms of ease of use and also excellent wear time. I heard from a lot of folks in my comments saying like, absolutely, everything creases on me. These did not. And I'm just like, okay, thank you for the feedback. That will inform my future reviews. I'm so happy to be able to offer not just a great formula, but also, you know, a huge range of neutrals. It's a lovely product. It was a great release this year. This is kind of an honorable mention. I don't know. It's like, it's not a new product, but I liked what she did or what they did, because Bobbi Brown is not at Bobbi Brown anymore. But the Bobbi Brown Double sided eyeshadow sticks that had a matte and a shimmer on them. I just love an idea that makes something more beginner friendly, combining colors and stuff, because the colors were really well combined, and not just in the most intuitive ways possible. It wasn't just everything being like a shimmer and a matte of the same color. They were combined in ways that took undertones into consideration. They were combined in ways that I felt like offered a little bit of experimentation for different skin tones. They were kind of inspired in that way, and I also really appreciated that the shimmers shimmered. It's uncommon to find a shimmer eyeshadow stick that actually stays shimmery, and they had some gorgeous browns and greens and taupes and stuff in there, and like a, I don't know, like an apricot color, and most of them maintained their sheen really, really beautifully. So I wanted to mention them. This is a twofer here because NARS did something incredibly well this year, and that was breathe new life into their blushes. Now, they reformulated their powder blushes, I believe, last year, and I got really obsessed with them. But this year they have continued to release new, innovative, interesting colors for their powder blushes. And then they reformulated the Multiple, which is their stick blush, and it also came out in a bunch of really awesome colors. Just colors that like a color theory nerd really likes because they sort of help fill in hollow colors. They layer beautifully. I just found them to be really, really well executed. I ended up buying like 4 or 5 of them this year. I love them. NARS finally reached out to me. Not that I've been sitting here like, why isn't NARS reaching out to me? But like, I got a message from them on Instagram a couple weeks ago, and they're just like, hey, do you want us to send you some PR? And I was like, oh my God, yes. I don't mind spending my money on your stuff, but if you're gonna send it to me for free, like absolutely, you know, because NARS has just been blowing my mind lately. Between the explicit lipsticks and like, they've been doing really beautiful things. So those blushes were stars for me this year. It is not often, it is very not often, that I fall in love with a new foundation or complexion product or what have you. And among them this year was the Armani Skin Tint. The Armani Skin Tint has a tiny bit of glow to it, which a lot of things did this year, but I feel like that one did it really tastefully. And it has the distinction for me of being a skin tint in the truest sense that has quite little coverage, less than the Lisa Eldridge, so it does still have a specific place in my routine. You know, it's not a dupe for something, but it looks so much like skin that you could wear it on its own. Like, you don't have to put bronzer and blush or anything on top of it. It literally just looks like skin. Certain products I don't want to like and they win me over. You'll see that happen quite a bit. I think that like Sarah Creel's stuff did that for me this year, but also that Mary Phillips underpainting palette. I didn't take like a hard stance on it, but I did compare it to the Makeup Forever one and be like, these are the same thing, you know? But for whatever reason, that Mary Phillips palette is so easy to travel with. The colors make a lot of sense. I do look forward to her expanding the shade range. There are only 3 currently, but I do love, again, from a color theory standpoint, just being able to kind of like go into a flow state and like paint with it. I do think that it works as an underpainting palette, but I mostly just use it as a bronzer and contour palette. And I find that when I'm packing, like we went to DC last week and visited my girl Natalie, when I'm looking at my collection and all of the things that I would typically use, I'm so much more likely to throw that Mary Phillips palette into my bag versus all of my other steps, just because it does so many things and uses up so little space. It is a traveling companion. It's lovely. We did have a little bit more luck this year when it comes to complexion. So the other winner for foundation for me was the new Makeup by Mario foundation. This is the Natural Finish Surreal Skin Foundation, and it comes in the frosted bottle with white letters. The first foundation from Makeup by Mario was very odd. It was just like really soupy. It didn't dry down. It was really frustrating. This is completely different. It has a, again, natural finish, so it's a little bit matte. I wouldn't say that it builds super well. If you want something that builds, go for like Prada or Chanel or something, but it has this beautiful, solidly medium finish to it. And I feel like it's gonna photograph really well because it's kind of a natural finish, halfway between reflective and light absorbing in a way that's not like smoothing, but it is perfecting, if that makes sense. So I haven't found that it is annoyed by combining it with any of my concealers or anything like that. It's a very, very lovely, long wearing formula that I feel like will work for a lot of different skin types. I'm very dry skinned and it doesn't dry out on my skin, but like it does have that slight like natural finish mattification quality to it that I feel like would work for like combo skin as well. We had a concealer winner this year too, and that would be the Serum Face Flex. Again, Serum took a minute to kind of win me over, but it was over time wearing this product, as well as, again, the feedback that I get from people in my comments who aren't me, because I'm not the only one using this makeup, right? And the people in my comments who are a little bit older than me, or maybe a lot of bit older than me, were saying, nothing works on my under eyes, this is God tier. And it's also a complexion product. It's not necessarily just a concealer, so I will travel with this alone, especially in the summer when I kind of just want to let my skin show through a little bit more. It's so lovely that it kind of just blends in where you need it, disappears where you don't, but you can apply as much of it as you want. It's going to continue to look like skin. I do think for all of the like shade range expansions and stuff, like there's still a lot of holes in that shade range. I have 3 shades, 0.5, 1, and 2, and none of them is a perfect match for me. It's always a toss-up, so it's not absolutely perfect, but the formula is darn near perfect. So as y'all know, this year I became more of a lipstick girly. It was just something that happened to me where I started leaning more into my medium contrastness, and the lipstick formula that really rose to the top this year, oddly enough for me, the new one that I tried this year for the first time is the Burberry Kisses Satin Lipstick. It is, from the standpoint of a luxury lipstick, which I know a lot of us, even if we're not luxury connoisseurs in every other respect, a lot of us still love a luxury lipstick. Even if you don't care about your foundation being in a luxury bottle, a lot of us like to have a luxury container for our lipstick, right? Burberry hits all the marks. The container is lovely for those of us who care. The formula is fantastic. They do have a matte one as well that I have not tried, but the satin is really pretty and not particularly shiny. It isn't scented. It isn't plumping. There's no sensation. And like the scent thing is so across the board with these luxury fashion houses that I was shocked to know that it didn't have a scent. And the colors. The colors are great. It's like Gucci eat your heart out, because I feel like Gucci keeps discontinuing their best shades, and I don't want to put a Gucci lipstick on my mouth because I just can't stand tasting that smell all day. This is a range of like these really grungy, nuanced colors that I feel like everybody can find more than one shade that is going to please them and make them go, oh wow, I couldn't find this anywhere else. So that one really knocked my socks off, which is hilarious because I did spend like $500 trying everything from Burberry this year, and it was their lipstick that stood out to me. Like, of all the things, it was just their lipstick. And an honorable mention goes to the new shade that came out with the Desert Gleam release from Lisa Eldridge. This is the shade Toasted in her Rouge Experience lipstick. The Rouge Experience came out last year, but this is a new shade and it is dynamite, okay? Obviously this is extremely personal. That's why it is an honorable mention, is because it's like, I don't think everyone needs to run out and buy this color, but like, oh my God. It's just so good. It's really very similar to my Kackie lip liner from Thrive. And it's just that great, like grungy neutral for neutral undertones. I don't think that an olive undertone would be able to wear this as well. I think it would probably still go a little bit undesirably warm. I don't know. I have not seen someone try it, but for me, it was the perfect grungy shade that we had all been wanting Lisa to come out with. Next we have the Sochi Pillow Blushes. Sochi is a brand that I didn't really know very much about. They're sort of clean beauty. They're sold in Credo and then on their own website. I got a few of them in PR before I kind of had the guts to try them. I don't know why. I don't know why. Sometimes things come in PR and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm like scared of ruining my face with makeup or something. Let me tell you, not only is this formula absurd, it is the most gorgeous, velvety, balmy, putty, hybrid thing. Oh my God. But it just glides onto the skin in a way that you could, I always say, it's like, you know, with all the fuss and trouble that I insist on you taking when it comes to putting on a serum blush on top of another face of makeup, this is the total opposite. You could blend this with a sandwich bag. It is so easy. And it also packs quite a bit of pigment, and the colors are so good. They've come out with so many great colors in it. They are unbelievably beautiful. If you have a Credo near you, I highly recommend just going and touching them because it's an addictive texture. Rounding out the serum blush category, we have the MAC strobe blushes. When I talked about them previously, I was like, I don't think that they were new this year, but they were. I lucked out, they were new this year. I went into Ulta at one point early this year and I just started, I don't know, swiggity swatching, just going, you know, doing my thing. Just like I had an afternoon and I was like, I drove all the way the heck out here because I live in the middle of nowhere. And I started swatching them and I was like, oh my God. Like not only are they gorgeous, but also the colors. I know I keep saying that, but that's kind of my thing. I love the colors. They are so, so beautiful. And as you get into the fairer shades in it, you get into like highlighter territory. They have more shimmer to them. And there are like softer kind of beigey pinky ones that are shimmery for like deeper skin tones and like golden. And then there's one that's like really icy for like really pale skin tones. But then you have these super punchy, like pure colors and also some kind of grungy colors that are sort of like, there's like a red E rust color and then there's like a purple E rust color and then there's like this bright orange. They're gorgeous, okay? And I think they're even easier to work with than the ABH or the Glow Recipe. I just think that they're great. I think if I had to choose a favorite, that would be my favorite formula of the serum blushes. I want to take a second and talk about the Jones Road Tinted Moisturizer. I have not in a long time actually come across a tinted moisturizer that was truly a tinted moisturizer. I know that sounds kind of elementary, but there are so many sort of catch-all ambiguous terms for these light coverage complexion products. We've got skin tints, we've got tinted moisturizers, we've got tinted SPFs, we've got tinted oils, we've got tinted serums. Like there's just all of these different things and they tend to kind of not mean anything at the end of the day. It just becomes a blur. This is a true tinted moisturizer. It's moisturizing. It's fantastic. People ask me to disambiguate it against my favorite, which is the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Tint, and they're just different products. This one's really thin and it goes on like a very, very thin foundation and it wears all day in that respect. The Jones Road, like you rub it in with your hands. I feel like it is the What the Foundation for the people for whom the What the Foundation is a little too What the Foundation. You know what I mean? I found the What the Foundation to be just a little too much work, a little bit too, I had to babysit it all day. It just felt a little too molten on my skin. This is honestly a testament to Bobbi Brown being so humble about the way that she approaches her customer base, being like, I invented this product and it's not take it or leave it. And talking about the What the Foundation, she's not like take it or leave it. You know what I mean? If you don't like my idea, then go somewhere else. She's like, if you don't like that, I'm gonna make one for the people who aren't like that, all in on that. But it's still the same vibe. It just has a little bit more of like a high performance makeup quality to it. And I love that. I do appreciate though that like more than half of her line is made to be really, really long wearing and high performing. And that tinted moisturizer is that. It's so good. Also, Glow Recipe sent me a refrigerator. I didn't know what else to do with it. And it's got a mirror on it, so I hope you'll have appreciated that little shiny distraction, all of my crows and magpies. Sorry about that. If it really bugs you, let me know. I will take it down. Another love affair that I had this year was the Lancome Idole Cafe Crush eyeshadow palette from Chica Daily. Okay. It's like a mouthful and I'm doing it without like anything to read in front of me. This was such a good purchase. It was one where I was like, do y'all really care about this? We saw it on Tepid Takes and I was like, is this boring? And then I was like, oh yeah, it is boring. And I love boring. And I bought it and I was like, oh my God, this is it's so good. It's so, the color story is so fantastic. It's very user-friendly. You can build it, but you can also blend it. Like it's just a really, really lovely, well thought out, and like, it works on so many different skin tones. I don't think that it's for like cool undertoned people. It's a decidedly warm palette, but it has a whole spectrum of depth to it, which I really like. So yeah, that one was gorgeous. The formulas are really like lightweight in a way that I feel like is very beginner friendly, and the color combinations are really intuitive. So yeah, it was just a winner. It was just a winner. And the last one that I want to talk about before we talk about release of the year are the Ilia shadow sticks. And I didn't try the matte ones. I'm sure they're lovely, but what really deserves kudos is the shimmer formula of the Ilia eyeshadow sticks, because they are the only eyeshadow stick, like true eyeshadow stick. Like the Danessa Myricks ones are like pure shimmer, you know, but like the ones that are just eyeshadow sticks that go on really easily and everything and you don't have to babysit them, that the shimmer actually stays, are the Ilia ones. The shimmer stays. It doesn't like blend away. And I swatched them on the back of my hand and then tried to wash them off with soap and hot water, and they wouldn't come off. I just think that they are a triumph, especially in the context of my own cynicism around eyeshadow sticks not being able to really maintain shimmer. So I just found the colors to be really lovely. The formula was really easy to work with, and I reach for them constantly. Okay, release of the year. You know, if any of y'all has been watching and going, there's something conspicuously absent from the things that she's talked about so far. You're right. Let's all say it together. Byredo Bibliophilia. That's a mouthful. But my God, this palette. I mean, if we're talking about a triumph, this thing has, I mean, look, you've got my little fingerprints in every single one of those. An 18 shade palette that I use every shade in? What? Okay, so maybe I haven't used this silver in the middle. This gray, okay, that's the only one I haven't used. Fine, I use 17 of the 18 shades. Every single one of them is just an inspiring knockout of a color. I think that the colors here, just the combination is so lovely. Some cool call outs here. I mean, first of all, I'm wearing all the like golds on my eyes right now with like a little tiny touch of that like wet look shimmer. Everything on my eyes right now is from this palette. But my green friend, Rebecca, bought this. Actually, I went behind her back, I'm a double agent, to her husband and I was like, hey, you know, Rebecca would probably really like this. And he's like, what a good idea for a Hanukkah present. I was like, you are so smart. And then he bought it for her. And then she got it in her hands and she's like, Kackie, I don't know. This has a lot of reds in it. What am I supposed to do with all these reds? And I was like, you're gonna put them on your eyes. And by the power of color theory, they're gonna turn brown. She's like, what do you mean? I'm just kidding. She was not that incredulous, but like, those are pretty red, right? But if you've got a green undertone, red, green opposites, you're gonna end up with like the most glorious, usable brown. And she does. And they're brown on her and it's so awesome. And I mean, she's like, literally, she wrote a blog post on her Substack, Your Green Friend, about this pretty shortly thereafter and was like, this is the first time, and she just texted me for days. She's like, I actually want to put away the rest of my makeup. Like there's no point in having any other eyeshadow palettes. This is the answer. This is the question. This is the answer. This is the be all end all. And it's so true. For an olive undertone, yes, but also these are some of the most nuanced browns. Like they're so interesting and that they had the guts to put things in there that are all that different from each other but also similar to each other at the same time. And I find that like for all of the eyeshadow palettes out there where you'll get a look but then you kind of hit a stopping point. You're like, I don't really know where to go from here. Not this. You're gonna always have a place where you can go next, which is just so nice. 18 shades. Yes, it's $115. Like that's how much these cost. But for all of the luxury that we talk about on my channel, this is actual luxury. Okay? This is a formula that when you touch it, you're like, oh, that's why it costs so much money. It's so great. And honestly, like it's insanely cost effective for 18 luxury shades. So I can't get enough of this freaking palette. It's like every day I think about using something else and I just want to use this. And hilariously, because Byredo loves to make things like, oh, we put out an eyeshadow palette. Just kidding, you didn't get it in time. And now it's gone forever. Sorry about it. Like Bibliophilia is at a lot of retailers and you can still get it. I think it's at Bergdorf's, I think it's at Nordstrom, I think it's still on the Byredo website. Like you can still get this, which is fantastic. So I almost didn't buy it. I almost didn't buy it because I didn't love the wear time on the formulas before. I don't know what it is, but these wear. So yeah, this is just one of those ones where I call it like a trick deck of cards. You put it on and you're just like, I actually had no plan, but it did what it was supposed to do without me even having to ask. This is a trick deck of cards. Wow, okay, that was not as painful as I was expecting. I think mainly because I didn't have to go dig out every single product. I think that would have really stressed me out. So now it's the time as it is my last video of the year, for me to make everyone cry. I'll probably make myself cry. No, I mean, this rounds out my 8th year of my channel. I did start this YouTube channel in earnest as a means of like, I want this to become my job. I'm going to be a beauty reviews channel January 1 of 2018. The fact that it's been 8 years is bananas to me. Like, what? 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, that's 8. Okay, I was an art major. Every year on this channel has been something different for me. It's had a different kind of meaning in my life. I think that the main thing that I kind of shifted this year in terms of like my own business goals, you could argue, is that I stopped trying as much to like attract a new audience, and in so doing also stopped focusing so much on the criticism and the critics, and instead focused on the people who are here because they like what we do here. Sounds intuitive, right? But like when you're on the internet, man, the criticism can really start to like get in your head and lay eggs, you know? And you're just like, you realize that you are making content that is like constantly apologizing for itself because of your critics. And it's like, to not be for everyone is honestly like, I think, a great way to be. And even as I say that, it's hard for me to not then hear the criticism of like, oh, she's so pick me, she thinks she's so not like other girls. It's like, no, it's a big internet. It's a big internet where you can go out and find the person who resonates with you the most. And I take it as such a huge compliment that my content resonates with so many people. The fact that people just find this to be something that matches their energy. And also, I live for making useful content. When people tell me that it was useful for them, like, that's how I sleep at night, okay? That is total job satisfaction for me, is for people to be like, yes, oh my God, this makes sense finally, you know, like, yes. I love my job. I love it, okay? I love my job. I love y'all. I love showing up here on camera. I love being a silly, goofy idiot for a living, okay? Like, it's so much fun for me. So I just want to thank y'all for letting me, for another year of my life, continue to be a silly, goofy idiot on the internet. It's so awesome. Like, what a gift. What an insane gift. My kid filled out this like questionnaire on Mother's Day, and they said, what does your mom do for work? He said, sleep. That's how available I am for my child. He doesn't even think I have a job. Like, he thinks I sleep for a living. That's amazing. Like, you know, so the gratitude for where I am never, ever goes away. Like, every single day that I get to be like, this is my job, I'm grateful for y'all. I'm grateful for y'all because, wow, you know what I mean? The support, the energy, mainly the conversations, the way that y'all continue to like fuel my content by asking such incredible questions and staying curious. I'm surrounded by the kind of people that I want to be friends with. So I love y'all so much. I appreciate you being here so much. And it amazes me every single day. It amazes me every single day that people just continue showing up and watching what I make. So I love y'all. I will see you in the new year. I'm going to Florida for Christmas. I will probably upload at some point in between there. I'm not sure because my kid is out of school for like pretty much the entire week of New Year's, and then we're going to Mexico. Because otherwise I'm going to curl up in a ball and you'll find me rocking in the corner because it just keeps snowing here. So me and Alex are going to reclaim our sanity in the sunshine for a few days, and then I will be back to the grind. So I hope that y'all also have a lovely holiday season. I hope you get a chance to breathe and relax a little bit. Everybody loves that purgatory week between Christmas and New Year's because it's like, what day is it? What year is it? I don't know. So please enjoy, and I love y'all so much if I haven't made that clear. Thank you so much for being here. I say that every time, but truly, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the new year. Bye.